breaths. All right, we have a solution for today. Into your easy pose, quote unquote easy. Letting your shoulders slide down the back of your rib cage and your thighs drop open, releasing tension in the knees. Let's start as we breathe with a slow nod of your head. So we're just going to let that chin and your whole skull rise all the way up and then all the way down. Bringing our attention to the shape of the neck as it compresses as we lift the chin and as it lengthens and curves forward as we drop the chin into that little hollow spot between your collarbones. And then go ahead and drop your right ear towards your right shoulder. And inhale, straight neck, and then drop your left ear to your left shoulder. And inhale. And exhale, drop. Inhale. And exhale, drop. Inhale. Exhale, drop. And then nod with your ear towards your right shoulder. And then slow breath, slow nod. And let that head come all the way down center, lengthening through the back of the neck. And then rolling over to the other side. And up. And nod. With your left ear sinking heavy towards your left shoulder. Good, and let it drop all the way back center. And let's add our arms to the breathing, lifting those arms up. And let your arms stay up there for a second. Let's squeeze our shoulders up to our earlobes for a moment. Squeezing all through the trapezius, upper back. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Big breath in. Let it go. Let everything go. Curve down. And then inhale, zipping up your spine from the pelvic floor through the spine. Big breath in, arms come up. And take the hands together and settle them down, letting the shoulders stay back. And the cracks begin to show. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Here, your Ujjayi breath. And slide down forward. Spreading out your back. And then I would like you to just luxuriate in the feeling of reaching one arm longer and then the other arm. All the way from your hips, reaching through the back. Reach and stretch. Reach and stretch. Reach and stretch. And let your chest come down a little bit more fully. And inhale, rolling up. Exhale to your right side. Long body radiate from your hips, sinking down to the floor through those fingertips. Anchor your left shoulder down the back and then anchor your right shoulder, both arms, and you're on the diagonal, drawing up through your belly lock. Root down through your left hip, even as you radiate up to the right. Inhale brings you center and over to the left side. Radiate, find that long line through your torso, anchored down through the right, and radiate up through both shoulders. Don't let that hip rise. Anchor, reach. Inhaling up, drop those shoulders back, walking your hands back and spread your chest, let your shoulders rise. Rock it side to side. Press your heart forward. And exhale, curve. Inhale, heart. And exhale, curve. Let your arms float through. Folding both hands, press your palms forward, stretching out your wrists and switch sides. You're really curving that back. And we're going to tip side to side. So I'm really curving my lower back behind my waist as I tip. Stretching the back. And rocking slowly down center and then inhaling up side. Straightening the back and curving down center and inhaling up side. Taking both arms forward. Exhale, sink to the floor. And breathing into those pelvises and hips. Inhale, rolling on up. Let your hands come back to your knees and let's roll those shoulders up by the ears, down and back. Forward, up by the ears, down and back. Anchoring your shoulders down and back, lifting up your pelvic floor. We're going to send our arms up like zombies. Ooh. Anchoring those shoulders back, we're going to bend our elbows so that our upper arms are parallel with the floor. Elbows straight in front of our armpits, and then we're going to flex our wrists so that our palms are facing the ceiling. And then I want you to squeeze, anchoring your shoulders down. I want you to squeeze, pulse those elbows towards your center line. Here we go. It looks like this. Squish, squish. Now don't let your shoulders come up just for the sake of getting your elbows together. Just squish them together. Feeling that backwards tension and your forearms moving together. Squish, squish, squish. Good. Take your wrists down to your shoulders and push. Wrist down to your shoulders and push. Back of the wrist to your shoulders and push. And back of the wrist to the shoulders. Hold, lift those elbows up. Draw back up through your torso, sitting up taller, long neck, shoulders down, and push with your elbows up. Hands back to your shoulders, elbows up, straight forward, push. Hands back to your shoulders, elbows straight up, don't let them come out like chicken wings, straight forward, push. Good, slide it back. Walk those hands back super far, fingertips forward, and drape your chest. Drape your chest down, let it hang off your shoulders. Rocking side to side, opening up that upper chest. Through the sides of your rib cage, through the tops of your shoulders. Good, good. All right, rising back up. Anchor those shoulder blades down. Arms forward like a zombie. Pizza pie hands, elbows pointing straight forward. And then lift your elbows up and take your hands around the back of your head. And we're going to let the weight of the hand pull the chin forward. So we're doing a chin poke for a moment, yes? And then I want you to pull your shoulder blades down and press the back of your head into your hands until your neck becomes straight again. So we're drawing the chin back and pressing the skull into the hand. Here we go. Sitting up tall. Pull those chins in, pull your shoulders down, squeeze your elbows together. And now lift your pinkies up and bring it back down. Chin back into those hands, elbows towards each other. Feel that squeeze and lengthen through the spine. sliding your feet out. Bent legs are fine here, straight if you have long hamstrings, and go ahead and lean your chest forward. Try and take your hands back even further, and bring your chin back into your hands. Shoulders down, lean your chest forward, elbows together. Pull it on back one more time. Lean your chest forward, elbows together. Bring it back, and swing those hands out. Shake out those arms. Good, good. Go ahead and soften those knees so that you can reach forward and find your feet. Hello, feet. Wave at me with all 10 of your toesies. 1 little, 2 little, 3 little toe beans, as I like to sing. Your big toes, let's take them straight up in the air, and let's grab instead your second toes. So if you had a thumb as your big toe, your pointer finger would be your second toe. That second toe is going to always in life be in alignment with the giant tendon that is underneath your patella, aka your kneecap. So go ahead and grab your kneecaps with each hand and work your fingers down to the underside of those kneecaps. Start your trackers if you haven't already. And that tendon, the patellar tendon, is going to be in line with your second toe at all times. So go ahead and take your toes and point them out and your knees in. This would be my knee aligning forward and my pointer finger toe aligning sideways. Yes, knee, toe. That is not healthy alignment for my knee. I want my knee and toe always the same. Go ahead and open your whole thigh out. You could open your knee, but forget your foot, and then your toe would be this way and your knee would be that way. That's not healthy either. Take your foot with your knee. And remember, the strength of that comes from your outside of your hips, right? It's not from your wee little ankles. That is not gonna do the trick. Your hips have way more strength and control. So let's take our arms. Let's press them on the outside of each knee. And we're going to use our external hip strength to pulse our knees wide. So if I didn't have my arms here, I would be forcefully opening my legs. Here's our pulse. Pulse wide, 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 wide. So I'm using my arms to give resistance to this action by holding my thighs towards the inside. Feeling the outside of your hips doing this work here. Outside of your hips right here is doing the work. Those are your gluteus medius and minimus and your external rotators, the adductors of the body. All right, 2 more. And switch your hands to the inside of your thighs. And now we're going to use our inner thighs to squeeze in, squeeze in, squeeze in, squeeze in, squeeze in, squeeze in, squeeze in. Okay. Go ahead and find yourself a comfortable position here in your forward fold. We're going to lift up. And we're going to tip forward out of that forward fold. You're going to close your eyes and relax in this stretch and let everything flop for a moment. Find your breath. Let go of everything. Don't worry about alignment, nothing. Just be a big old noodle. All right, inhale, gathering in your body. Rise up just a little bit and look at where your legs went. Maybe you're really lucky and they're exactly still parallel still. Most of us have a habit that makes us lopsided in some way. For me, it's that leg turning out. And I just want to make myself aware of that because it'll probably happen in other poses, yes? So before we move on, we're going to review today the difference between Warrior One and High Lunge. So go ahead and think about your left leg being parallel, pointing straight forward. And we're going to move this right thigh externally rotated and then back to parallel. So turn out and parallel, turn out, parallel, turn out, parallel. And I don't want you to move this foot, right? Not the foot, because that would be not taking the knee with it. I want you to move the thigh like it's a key in a lock, and that keyhole is your hip socket. Yeah? Try the other side. Turn it out from the thigh. Turn it out. And that muscle that's going to externally rotate is underneath your bun here, right where your thigh meets the curve of the buttock is where those external rotators live. Try turning both of them out. Both of them out, both of them parallel. Sometimes you can have a little bounce as you move those muscles. Go ahead and bounce your buns. And then turn out, bounce your buns. Parallel, bounce your buns. Turn out, bounce your buns. Yeah. All right, so in Warrior One lunge, both of our knees are not the same. In Warrior One, the forward knee is parallel and the back leg is turned out from underneath your hip socket. In high lunge, both of our legs are parallel. In Warrior One, the back leg is turned out from that hip socket. So since it's easier to feel that activation from the hip socket here seated on the floor because it squeezes against the floor a little bit, I just wanted to pause there because of course we're going to do that next. And I want you to be able to re-engage that muscle as we rise. So go ahead and come to your squat and rock through, and then we'll start with our sun salutations. Go ahead and drop those heels down, coming to your forward fold, and in your own time, soften the knees, drop the tailbone, and gather up. Gathering up from the floor, pressing with support through the legs, so you have active legs, pressing into the floor, drawing up from your pelvic floor, through the belly lock, through your root bandha, shoulders drop back to start at the front of your mat. And we'll take a great big breath in. Take our hands down to Namaste. Inhale up again. Sipping up and centering through the body. Let your shoulders drop down and just pause here for a moment in this arch. As we stand here, we want to be centering. We want to be drawing our weight together towards the center line. Lifting up through our root, lifting up through our center, pulling our shoulder blades together and back, and then inhale, centering the hands back to that center line. And let's take them down together to our forward fold. Big exhale, inhale up to flat back. And now radiate. I want you to feel your feet pressing, especially in the balls of the feet, into the floor. Your tailbone is rising both up and back. It's going up away from your feet, so your legs are getting long, and your flat back is lengthening from front to bottom. Lifting up through that torso. Reaching your fingertips away from the crown of your head. Long lower neck. Exhale, soften through those thighs. And we're going to step back with your left foot into high lunge. High lunge has the knee off the floor. Go ahead and rock forward and back. Looking down beneath yourself, see that knee in the back is pointed at the ground and it's lifting, yeah? So your back thigh is lifting. Your front knee is reaching forward. Your hips are square and sinking towards the earth. Your belly is also lifting. And from there, we're going to press evenly into both legs through that strong foundation of a high lunge to rise up. Drop your shoulders, find your breath. Centering, squeezing my thighs towards that center line will help me to have a more square to the front pelvis. Exhale, reach that chest forward. Lengthening front knee forward, back knee back. Thigh and belly lifting, pelvis yielding to the ground, taking both hands to the floor. The trick to getting your foot through is to lift even more with your core and belly. Notice I'm pushing through my back foot to lift my pelvis up, and you can even come up onto your spider web fingers, whoop, to really lift your torso, to scoot that foot up underneath you, to step it back to your plank, down through chaturanga. Legs together, inhale, rise. Exhale, back down to the floor. Pressing back up to downward dog. 3 big breaths here. If your legs aren't all the way together, do pull them back together and shift your left leg skyward. Square hips. Exhale, sink that knee through, tuck it underneath, curve the body. And there's your practice as well for the step through. You're curving your whole back like a kitty cat at Halloween. Exhale, send the chest down towards the thighs. And inhale, lift that leg. Pendulum leg. Let's go. Exhale down. Inhale, tuck up. Exhale down. Inhale, tuck up. Exhale down. Inhale, tuck up. Last one. Tuck it through. And I do lift my hand off the ground just a little bit to sneak my foot through. Reset your high lunge on the other side. That means squeezing back towards the center line so you're centering with the thighs. Radiating through your front knee and your back heel and your crown of your head. Go ahead and lean forward with your flat back here, finding your breath. Are your knee and toe still pointing straight together there in the front? Hands step together to forward fold. Inhale, arch. Exhale, soften. Forward fold again. Drop the hips. Draw up through your pelvic floor, through your belly. Stacking that spine all the way up. Let your arms float up. Hands come to namaste. Close your eyeballs. Find your breath here for a moment. Just breathing. Feeling where your center is. Face to face. I told you I love you, I won't let you. Inhale, open those arms up and chest open to the sky. Inhale, rising up, flat back forward. Exhale, soften. Inhale, flat back. Centering your shoulder blades to your spine, lifting up through your core, lengthening through the skull. And exhale, bend your knees. And right leg back. High lunge, take your time. Yielding the pelvis downward. Lifting that back thigh up. Right heel back, left knee forward. Centering those thighs and rising up. Now watch me find 1,000 ways. And leaning forward. Knee and toe straight forward, align those knees and toes. And hands down. Lift up the body to tuck the foot through to your plank. Make sure your hands are underneath your shoulders. Elbows back as you lower down through chaturanga. Inhale up through cobra. Exhale back down. Pressing back up through chaturanga or knees on the ground, but elbows in to your downward dog. Check that your pointer fingers are forward and your elbows are rotated in towards your thighs, and you'll lift that left leg. Still square, everything's still square and parallel. And pendulum. Exhale as the thigh passes through. Inhale as you tuck and curl forward. still centering. Pulling your arms together, pulling your thighs to that center line, shoulder blades center towards your spine. Lift and lower. Last one, this one we'll step through. Take your time setting up. Knee and toe straight forward. Hips are squared by pulling your thighs towards that center plane. Front knee reaches forward, back heel reaches back. Hips yield downward, radiating front and back. Stacking up through a long lower back by supporting through the abdomen. Find that high lunge. Exhale, reach forward. Wrapping your back hip in to get it steady. And pressing forward, stepping together, forward fold. Inhale, fly back. Exhale, dropping hips, stacking up. Rising center to your tree. We're going to step onto your left leg, drawing your right knee up and forward first, and then rotate that right knee out to the side. Slide it down to your bus stop. Bus stop A, toes on the floor. Bus stop B, foot on your ankle. C, foot on your calf. Remember, we never put sideways weight onto this knee area. We never go sideways. So that means you either go below or above that knee. You can put your heel right above the knee socket, or you can grab it, tuck the heel into the soft tissue of your inner thigh. Keep that knee opening using your external rotators. Resist the urge to lift that hip. You want to drop it down and behind you so that your belly button shifts over the standing legs, pointer fingertip. Yeah. Big breath in.
Ich mach mir nur montags Sorgen, heute ist alles easy, easy wie Sonntagmorgen. Du weißt nicht wohin, ich bleib wo ich bin, das Handy ist hart, und ich weiß was ich will.
All right, we're gonna unhook that foot, and we're gonna step to it, turn it parallel, putting your belly button over the right leg's ball of the foot. Drawing up the left knee forward first, then opening it to the side. Take it down to the floor. Bus stop A, B, C, D is right above, E, tuck it in. And notice when I tuck it, my hip rises. So I have to re-sit that left hip back behind myself to have even pelvis. Belly's lifted, tailbone's reaching down to the earth, so I'm radiating down as well as up. Unhook, coming back center. Big breath in. Exhale, sigh. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, forward fold, everybody. Forward fold. Up to your flat back. And back down. We're going to take your right leg. We're going to turn it out before we even step out. parallel, turn it out, parallel, turn it out, parallel, turn it out, parallel. All right, from your turned out position with that right leg, you're gonna step that leg back to warrior one, letting the heel go further back than your toes, so it's on a 45-degree angle, that thigh. Holding under your glute, we're gonna lift up into your warrior one position. Find square. Taking those arms up above your head, dropping those shoulders down, reaching through the front knee. Remember, front knee and toe are in the same direction, and noticing whether your hips have opened up. If your hips are opening and you can't square them quite yet, take your back leg and scooch it out about 3 or 4 inches so that you can hold square pelvis with a externally rotated back thigh. Let's scoop some water. So your right leg is back. You're in warrior one. Big breath in. Opening up that hip socket. Scoop up some water. Holding that right leg turned out. One more time, and then down to the floor. Scooping up this water. This exhale is going to take us all the way down. So big breath in. Exhale all the way to the floor. When your hands touch, change back leg to parallel to step through to plank or modified plank. Your knees can be down on the floor as you go down to begin your chaturanga vinyasa. Downward dog. Inhale, we're gonna send your right leg up and we're gonna open the hips. And we're gonna close the hips. And we're gonna open the hips. And we're gonna close the hips. And we're gonna open the hips. And we're gonna close the hips. We're gonna open the hips and stay. Take your hands 1 foot in, open those hips, walk your hands until your weight of your pelvis and your back leg are over the back leg, and see if you can zip up to half moon. Bring it down, walk it back down to three-legged dog, and we're gonna tuck the right leg through to come to pigeon right away. Separate those thighs, dropping your chest. Big breath in. Inhale, lifting your chest up in your pigeon pose, pressing through your fingertips, lifting the heart up and square. Exhale, drop that chest back down, placing your elbows on the floor. So your butt can be way over on the ground right now, that's fine. Elbows on the floor, holding hands, pressing your whole forearms into the ground. We're gonna sneak our back toe in. We're gonna rise up to a dolphin three-legged dog. So your right leg is gonna go back up into the air. Ready? Pulling in through your core, curling that back like a cat, pressing into the elbows, sending that leg up. Re-square. Coming down to dolphin, and my feet are too far away, so I'm going to walk them closer. I'm going to lift my right leg up again. I'm going to open those hips, and I'm going to tuck down to all fours and spread my heart out with my hips high in the air, heart opener. Big deep breath. Lovely. Press back into child's pose, rolling up into your victorious pose. Big breath in, lifting your arms to the sky. Curve your belly button back, arms come forward. It's like you're hollowing yourself out, squeezing your thighs together, centering, letting your thighs open. If this doesn't do it for you, some of us can rock onto your feet. It's not for everybody. It's not the most important thing in the world, but it's a thing to lift your knees up or to reach through those knees and press through the hips, which I think is much more of a thigh opener. Yeah? And notice the difference here between this victorious pose or thunderbolt is our hips are down on our heels, and then walk your body forward, rise up with your hips above your knees. This is where camel is. So I'm going to tuck my toes in for a little additional balance, center my thighs together, tuck my tailbone underneath, zipping up through the front of my core, and lift my heart. In your camel pose. All right, camel posers, let's come down back to your child's pose. And downward dog. Right leg's gonna come up, step through. And before you lift your hands up off the ground, let's turn that back leg out. So now your left leg is gonna turn out, step out if need be, to your warrior one, left side. And check those hips. And externally rotate the back leg. Bring your arms up. We're gonna open our arms behind ourselves, wipe the sweat off them if you need to, grab hands and pop that chest open. Now you'll notice my warrior one stance on the side is quite shallow, yeah? It's not nearly as far back, this back leg is on the other side, and that's because I know that this hip flexor is super tight on me. And so I'm choosing to square my hips and protect my lower back and strengthen my core, rather than letting my ego take me into where I think my warrior one should be. In this case, my hips are turned totally out, right? So that's not square anymore. And I want a square warrior one with a long upright pelvis. That means I take it in. All right, popped chest, lean it forward. Dropping your head, let your hands come up over your hands, over your head. So your wrists are in the air, opening that chest. I'm definitely pulling my right hip back to keep it square. Externally rotating the left leg. Hands down to your pelvis, drop them through. Step together, optional pass through Hanuman to your forward fold. Inhale up, halfway, soften, rising back up. Inhale, open that chest, pass forward through forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. And that leg that was just back goes back again. Turned out on a 45-degree angle. Squaring the hips. Front knee reaches forward over the front toe. Full contact through the outside of the back foot edge. And left hip is really trying to open to the front. I'm going to make it more shallow so that I can get a correct pelvic shape. Because really that tight hip flexor on me is what's holding me back. The rest of my body could handle a bigger, deeper lunge, but this is the part I'm working on. So I want to stay there where the work is. Let's make some water buckets, cool us off by scooping them up in our hands. Lifting up. Feeling your pelvis. more time. This one's gonna take us all the way to the floor. So big deep breath in. Change back leg. Inhale up to your cobra or upward dog. Soften back down. And press up through to your downward dog. Before you move on, check your hands. I noticed today my hands tend to end up wider than my shoulders, so I'm going to tuck them back in. Yeah? Pointer fingers are forward. Hands are big and broad. I'm going to grip the floor with my hands and rotate my elbows to the back of the room. Then send the left leg up. Square first, and then open the hips. I'm keeping my shoulders square at this point. Close the hips. Looking at my standing leg, I'm keeping my knee and toe pointing the same direction. Open. Take the time in this slow speed to nourish the details. Elbows squeezing towards each other. Hands alive, supporting into the mat. One more time. Radiating through that back leg. Opening it up, walking my hands closer to my back leg. It's okay to bend your back leg as we work through from here. So opening the hips, find your weight on the ball of that foot. Just a little bit of weight into your hands and zipping out. Half moon. Bring it back down. Tucking through to pigeon. Sliding those thighs apart and resting down. Opening up your forward thigh. If your floor feels too far away to rest into, stack a couple of fists on top of each other and let it be a pillow for your forehead. Walking your hands in, lifting up through the torso. Take a little inventory. Is your back leg turned in or turned out? Not judging here, just like, what happens when I don't think about this? What's your back foot doing? Is it on the center line? Are we really far over still? Those are okay places to be. We're just taking an inventory. I'm going to decide to try and bring my leg back and rotate it out a little bit and see if I can get my hips back square. No, not yet. But I'm feeling it out. All right, tuck that back foot in. I'm gonna scooch mine in because I remember that my three-legged dog was too spread out when I did this on the other side. So I'm gonna lift up my core now and I'm gonna swing all the way back. Three-legged dog. Taking that leg down, both knees down. Coming onto your right knee, you're going to move your right hand forward and out just about one hand length to zip it up. Half moon pose on the knee. Can you get your chest all the way open here? Can you get your hips one on top of the other? And bring it down. Try the other side. And zip it up. Radiating from one set of fingertips to the other, from the skull through the leg, and find your breath. Taking it back down. Your right leg is behind you in the air. We're going to press up to plank and step through, changing your left leg to warrior one, squaring those hips, rising up. Open the arms all the way behind you, dust off your hands so they're not sticky. Grab each other, pop the chest open, really re-square those hips, and lean forward, opening the back thigh, lifting the hands and dropping the head. Hands to your pelvis and the floor. Step forward together, passing through Hanuman as an option. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, sweep the arms forward, drop the hips back, squat. Awkward chair. Draw up through your pelvic floor and your belly. Find your breath. Press the earth away to rise up to standing. Dropping your arms to either side. Close your eyes. Let your equilibrium return with your eyes closed and feel your balance. Notice where your weight is on your feet. If your feet feel together or apart, find that breath. Good. All right. Gently soften those knees. We're going to take your right leg, cross it as high as possible over the left leg, squeezing everything towards the front. Top leg is bottom arm. Crossing above the elbow, bending both elbows, wrapping, squeezing everything to that center line for the eagle. Lift your elbows. Draw your shoulders and your belly button back over your hips. Finding your breath in the eagle pose. Rise up, unhook. Taking that knee back, find your right leg with your left hand. Press the foot into the hand and reach forward. Without falling. What happened there? Why did I fall? Because I let this hip open without counterbalancing it. I'm going to keep my hips steady. Squeezing that thigh down to center line and release. Big breath in. Find your squat. Now your left leg over the right for eagle on the other side. Both knees forward, especially knee and toe here, right? Because we're going to be bending and putting a lot of weight on that leg. So we really want to protect alignment there. Thighs together. Top leg is bottom arm. Crossing above the elbow to bend the elbows, wrap the hands, lift the elbows, sitting back square. Good, rise out. Taking your left leg back in the opposite hand today. Square those hips, squeeze legs together. I'm going to press the horizon down as I push my foot back into the hand behind myself. Bring it back center. Big breath in. One more time. So now right leg into your left hand. Find it, re-square it. I'm going to turn to the side. Taking your hand up and then pressing it down on the horizon. Find your drishti, which is a focal point that you choose. Helps you focus. It should be straight forward, like you're looking out into the horizon. And I'm centering, I'm revolving that back leg into my center to help me balance. Pushing the foot into the hand to lift the leg, and then re-squeezing, rotating that leg in. Release, try other side. foot into hand. Squaring. Press to the horizon, gaze way out far, re-square, rotate internally in that back leg. Release your king dancers. Back into your awkward chair. From there, let your hips slowly take you all the way to the floor. Hips way back, knees are not passing the toes. Come on down to the ground. Good, good. Rotate, open through those thighs. So I'm grabbing my knees and I'm softening through the hip sockets. I'm going to take my knees into my chest and then out to either side of my rib cage, reaching through to my heels. Heels up in the air. The weight of my arms take my shins down to the earth for happy baby pose. So our knees and thighs are definitely outside of our rib cage. If you're not sure, give your hips a little wiggle side to side and let the weight of your arms the only thing that's really working here is you're holding your hands to hold on to those heels, but everything else you can let gravity droop your thighs into the earth and that'll stretch your inner thighs out. Two more breaths. We're almost done here. Don't totally melt. We're going to get upside down one more time. Go ahead and let those legs start to extend into a big stretch. All right, bring your heels back together. Rock forward to seated. Same action. Move the heels out sideways. Let the thighs pass your rib cage. Drop your chest through. Reaching your arms center and forward. If you'd like to extend those legs more, you can extend those legs more. Yeah, and in this stretch, I want you to think about, remember we started at the beginning, grab your hands. Hands behind the head, lifting your elbows back, pushing with your pinkies, leaning forward. So when you're doing dolphin with different teachers, some people prefer the palms squeezed together. Some people prefer to make space and put the back of your head into the palms. So either are fine. If you find that your elbows are constantly falling apart when you're in a dolphin pose, experiment with holding your palms tight together, so squeezing through the hands, and that might give you a better sort of self-reinforcement reminder of keeping your elbows squozen to the narrowness of your shoulders. All right, you guessed it, friends. We're gonna go into a wide-legged dolphin. So one more stretch through the middle here. Get a little bit lower if you can. Maybe take a look at your shoulders and elbows relationship, like how close are they? I'm always surprised how narrow my shoulders are. Holding hands. Feel the feeling of squeezing in and anchoring my shoulders back and pushing through my pinkies. Go ahead and push through your pinkies. So that action gives you more support. Lengthen through the neck. All right, let's set it up. Walking back up. If you would like to do this against a wall, by all means, please feel free to do so. In that case, you're going to leave a little bit of space between the wall and where you put your hands down, because everybody's booty takes up a little bit of space. So I'll do this against the wall today. I'm going to set my hands up just like we practiced. Today I'm going to squeeze my hands together for a little change of pace, but usually I like to leave them apart personally. But since I asked you to try it, I will try it as well. So hands are squozen together. Hello, there's my buns. I'm going to press my full forearm into the mat, come up to my downward dog, and I'm going to place my skull, the top crown of my head, in between my forearms. You know, I really like having my hands apart, but I'm going to try it this way today. As I walk my feet wider, there's a moment, and I'm still pressing most of my weight into my hands, you guys. It's not all in my neck. There's a moment where you'll feel, as your feet get wider, that the weight of your hips rocks up. So your tailbone rotates from pointing towards the camera in this case, towards the sky. So feel that moment. If you have a wall behind you, the wall should meet you just the moment after that. It's okay if you're not all the way upside down. You're just hanging out. I lost my balance there. Waiting for that moment where you feel your hips rise. And just practicing that is all we need to do. One more time if you want, or you can go straight to your Shavasana if you're feeling like that's what I need today. Rising up one more time if you want. Really helps to widen your legs. Boop. Widen your legs, helps you to rise up. I'm definitely using the wall today for sure. And that's what it's there for. So when you're ready, go ahead and come on down to your Shavasana, and we'll take a moment to return to stillness and calm. Slowing down your breath. You don't have to think consciously about breathing in through your nose and exhaling through your mouth unless that really feels good to you today. But if you're going to make that choice, make a choice, one choice to focus on. And maybe that is using that in through the nose and out through the mouth breath. Maybe it's just staying present in feeling your body melt. Maybe it's a mantra today. Maybe you want to say one word of soothing to yourself. Like calm, calm. Gently coming back to your body. And your eyes stay closed, just moving through your feet and fingertips. Upwards through your knees. And we're going to slide one leg down and one leg is bent, like you're going to do a bridge. But you're going to push into that leg and roll onto your side to the reflective pose. Now, when you're ready, lengthen that top leg out. Let the weight of that leg help you push yourself back up. Coming back to easy pose. Last few breaths to center yourself. Thank you for joining me today, for challenging me, and to be patient. Thank you so much for the patience with our technical difficulties especially. I look forward to seeing you next week, and we will keep reviewing